Hi, this is Pranav Guha Thakurta from EDU-TV. Today, in this new normal and adverse situation, we have with us Mr. Tarundeep Anand, Chairperson of Universal Business School, Mumbai. He also headed Thomson Reuters Asia Pacific. We have Mr. Mukesh Tyagi with us. He's a noted film actor and BJP leader. We have with us Mrs. Rashmi Kapoor, Managing Director, Sycoriaan Matrimonial Limited, the largest offline matrimonial company of India. We have Mr. Rajesh Setia, he's the founder, Testpan India, and Mr. Somnath, Bharti, the famous Aam Aadmi Party leader and a Supreme Court lawyer. Welcome. So I'll start with Mr. Tarun. Mr. Tarun, the world is changing forever. Fear is the new normal. Technological change is the new normal. Dealing with uncertainty is the new normal. Sir, how should we cope with this?
Great. Firstly, thank you, Pranav, for this wonderful opportunity. So I think, the world is changed. It's not going back. So we need to, a few things I would put as the way forward is firstly to challenge the mental model, right? We cannot go back to the old system just saying that, okay, we are back to normal. What can we learn from these new phenomena that has provided us some opportunities as well as some reality checks of how we are running our businesses? So I would say we cannot go back the old way. So challenge, and not only challenge your business model and your mental model, but change it. That would be my first view. The second is to, this entire crisis has taught us that digital is the way forward. So digital transformation and making sure that you have a robust digital infrastructure is going to be one of the things that every company, every institution is focusing on, realizing that earlier it was given lip service, now this is the foundation. So if you had asked me that, can you work from home for 120 days? If you'd asked me in January, I would say no way. Now you can see we have been working and thriving. In some cases, productivity gains have happened. And some companies like TCS are saying we're never going back. So 75% of our workforce is going to be working from home. So that's the new normal. So how can we get new business opportunities, right? That's going to be the key. Scanning the environment, I would say one of the things which is obvious is the talent strategy, right? So every organization needs to look inward. Do we have the right skill sets? Do we have the 21st century skill sets, which is going to make us ready for the new normal? The whole world is into machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotic. That side of the world is just going to accelerate in adoption. So I think that's one of the things companies need to look inward. And I'll stop there, but just one of the things which I would say companies need to do is think of from shareholder value to stakeholder value, right? What is going to impact our communities? What's going to impact the way we do business? It's not going to be just the stock markets or the shareholders. We need to look at every aspect in the firm, and I can come back more on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We welcome Mr. Somnath Bharti, the famous Aam Aadmi Party leader and Supreme Court lawyer from Delhi. Sir, as our channel is watched by educationists, students, business people, as now all the stakeholders are facing problems in terms of finances, socially, and feeling insecure, what is your advice for them, Bharti Saab?
First of all, good afternoon to everybody, and it's a great opportunity to be with such distinguished panel. And the topic chosen is very, very relevant, even otherwise Corona times.
Right, sir.
Because what happens that, what I've realized till now, whatever life I've lived, that we do not teach how to deal with adversity. We teach everything else. So the kids are not even taught how to deal with failure, how to deal with bad times. So unless and until we equip our generations with this process also, that how to deal with adversity, how to deal with failures, how to deal with new situations, we will not be equipping them with everything, whatever they require to live life happily. So very nice topic and very distinguished panel. Sir, life will never be the same.
Correct.
Post-Corona, the way we talk about before Christ and BC and AD, in the same way we have to talk about post-Corona and pre-Corona. Now, whatever has happened, I mean, it could be a God intervention because God has brought us to the knees. and everybody, including superpower, they are now feeling on the knees because of corona, which is invisible. So invisible corona has taught us all this. So let us first be possibly teaching us humility. Let's be humble in life. However powerful you may become a US, you may become however wealthy you become, but then you can see it, all of us, parliamentarians, legislators, business people, top sorts, everybody's feeling today humbled in a manner. Now, as a legislator, as a politician, I feel that we do owe a bigger duty towards society this moment, because the governments will have to change the procedures, the parameters of doing businesses, etc., etc. Whatever frameworks we need to bring in the new scenario has to be expedited, so that the people are brought to live with corona in harmony, let's say. Because situation is there, as my Chief Minister, Honorable Arvind Kejriwal ji said, that we have to live with corona now. We have to learn to live with corona till we find the solution, the cure. There is no cure so far. Only we have to adopt the new way of living with a face mask, social distancing to be implemented everywhere, in businesses and markets everywhere. And as far as challenges are concerned, challenges are for everybody. I think more so for the government, because our majority of the people, majority of the population, they are unfortunately not equipped with the understanding that corona can lead to death. In fact, because I have been in this 2.5 months, 3 months time of this lockdown period on the ground, distributing food, distributing ration, etc., etc. What I realized that a large part of our population, they are still not understanding what is corona and in what way it is going to harm us. So that is one way, because all of you are representing your own domains in a very advanced manner. So all of us need to think on this line, that how to, because imagine today, this not only you have to save yourself from corona, you have to ensure that everybody living around you have to be mandatorily observing those restrictions. So your driver, your peon, your maid, your everybody must be having a face mask, must be exercising those restrictions, etc. So this has sort of acted as a leveler. So now in the society, we have to, of course, save ourselves, but in saving ourselves, we have to also ensure that the poor living around us, the marginalized living around us, any section who is not today, let's say, financially powerful, financially equipped, those must be in a manner that these restrictions must be complied with them also. So it's a great leveler. It's a great leveler. Now, when I look at the legislations and etc., you also must be understanding that there are laws. I have been observing myself from last 3 months, because in a manner, this corona times gave all of us time to slow down. To slow down, look at our own families. Possibly many of us would not have looked at our own wives, our own husbands, our own mothers, fathers, children. Many of us were so busy in life that we hardly had time to look at our own families properly. So this corona times gave us that window that we got familiarized with our own selves, with our own families. So that was one positive aspect of this corona time. Now, when I look at the legislator's point of view, see, there are laws which are coming from British time, 1800 something. Even they have not been brought to the present level. IPC, which is coming down from 1860, CRPC was drafted then. So legislators, parliamentarians have a bigger role now, and they have to expedite. We have to expedite to bring the laws to deal with the new situation. The new normal of post-corona will have to be accounted, will have to be adjusted in the new laws. So the parliamentarians, legislators have to sit down. The laws have to be studied. Wherever laws would require amendment, we have to amend the laws, so that the new normal, that is doing businesses from homes, new transport rules, many things, because digital is going to be the thing now.
Correct.
So how do we enable our business people, our professionals, our entrepreneurs? How do we help them in this new situation, the new normal? So I would like that this platform should also give us those clues, those ideas, those suggestions, which as a legislator I can carry to my assembly and ensure that the laws get amended. Laws get amended so that professionals in our country, they are given those platforms where they can easily adjust with the new normal.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I think that's excellent. Now we have Mr. Mukesh Tyagi, is a noted film actor. Sir, as people from the cinema industry, they are quite worried because the malls are not opening. And or majority of the malls are in cinema halls. Even if they make cinema, they will make for whom? And how OTT is affecting the cinema? Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sycoriaan and Rashmi ji, for giving me this opportunity of sharing this platform with very distinguished personalities like Mr. Bharti and Universal Business School owner, very inspiring personalities. And I think Mr. Bharti has comprehended very well. But only thing I can try to say, it's a challenging time, not only for the film industry, but for all the sectors across the business segment, whether it is a production, manufacturing, or the film. So film is also a very important part of it. It contributes almost 0.05% of the GDP. So we produce almost 2,000 to 3,000 films in a year. It's a source of a great entertainment for the society at large. You know, there is a loss of about 4 to 5,000 crores per month because the film industry shut down. But film industry is extremely creative. As a result of the digitalization and the way digital penetration has happened across the globe, the new OTT platform had been cropping up. Netflix, Amazon, Eros, Hotstar, you name it. And suddenly, with the spur of the smartphones, smart television, so people entertainment has been in any case shifting before the COVID. People had switched on to Netflix, and now Netflix is one of the best provider. Like people are awake till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, watching their web series and watching the films of their choice. So there is a complete shift in the entertainment industry. Of course, there is a big challenge. For like PVR, for Inox. So these people are really facing a big problem. Like Mr. Bijli was very confident that after the corona, because people were saying that the viral load gets reduced, maybe there is a possibility of people mingling and moving around with the social distancing and mask on that. And again, the viewership will be restored. But I doubt whether the viewership in the theater, especially in the malls, will ever get restored for at least 6 to 8 months time till the vaccine is invented. Because idea is that if you do not have an alternative media of watching the films, then you would go and watch go into theaters. But there is ample opportunity. There WhatsApp, there YouTube. So much of entertainment is flooded for the viewers. So I'm sure the OTT platform will remain a very predominant means of exhibitions of the films, entertainment. Now the challenge is the production, because now they are drying out of the content, because whatever the content was initially started, now it is getting exhausted. So they are looking for new things. Like, for example, Suryavanshi of Akshay Kumar was basically held up because of the coronavirus. There are a number of movies like even Baghi 3, which was like in 3 days, it made a bumper business. But because of the intervention of the government, the malls were closed and that revenue had to be shifted. There was a big controversy happened on Subir Sarkar's new movie where Amitabh Bachchan is featuring, and then the actors were not happy. Sushant Singh was very unhappy when his film Drive was actually sent to the OTT platform. So there is suddenly I think we all have to make a new adjustment with the new realities. I mean, we can't live in the utopian world, because if we think that shooting will start, but I doubt, although shooting has started in Abu Dhabi, in Hyderabad, in Bangalore, but it's a very limping pace. But what you asked me, a very good question, that OTT platform is going to stay here with the disruptions happening every day. You see, we have to face the disruption. Coronavirus is also disruption. Today, Corona is happening. Tomorrow, there can be another virus which can come in. In China, there is a second wave of coronavirus. There can be new virus. So I do not know whether it's a complete reset or new normal, that we have to develop our indigenous capabilities to entertain ourselves, to become productive. How do we do that? Now, this is the challenge which we are going to face, artificial intelligence. So you will see to it, India with the Atmanirbhar kind of a concept which Prime Minister has initiated, people will develop a lot of indigenous methods of reaching out to the people. So the business will change its space, its style, paradigm. So I see a great future actually of the entertainment industry, because OTT is at your doorstep. You don't have to spend 400, 500 rupees buying the ticket, buying popcorn, which is so expensive for a, and as such the economy is going down. So you will not be able to spend 2,000, 3,000 per week on a Friday release. So you would shift your entertainment to household, where the entire family can watch with a flexible format. You can pick up your tea, you can, everything is free for you. Only you pay 500 rupees maybe for Netflix, but there are many free or OTT platforms also. So, you know, and with the digital penetration we are seeing today, I mean, thanks to Mr. Modi, that he could visualize that we need to digitize our country. And that's why today Jio and all these things are giving very generous data packages. Your data package never gets exhausted. There was a time when 3G, it was like buffering, you would, but look, and now the 5G is coming in. So you will see the cinematic quality of all these things will make a quantum leap in terms of reaching out faster. So you will see the big revolution happening. Now the traditional and conventional business models, you take it from me, will be obsolete very soon. So you will have to start thinking as a disruption. And you have to be also prepared that the pandemics can be pandemic 2, pandemic 3, pandemic 4, because the climate has been abused grossly. So there is an entire imbalance of the ecosystem around us. We have abused our resources, the gift by the nature. So there is a possibility of backlash. The way you see Siberia, there is a 38-degree temperature in Siberia, which never used to happen. So the sea level is rising. The storms are happening. The big, you can see the floods coming in China. So there is a whole lot of a nature punishing you for abusing it. And similarly in the politics also, you will see like virtual rallies happening. So democracy will also undergo a lot of changes, because no more those big rallies will happen. So there will be complete overall 360-degree paradigm shift. So you will have to develop your skills within yourself to reach out. मेरा ये कहना है कि जीवन में 3 चीजें होती हैं, एक तो स्वास्थ्य, समय और समाधान. अगर आप इन तीनों चीज का तालमेल में कहीं पे भी डिस्टर्ब करेंगे तो आपकी जिंदगी विनाश की ओर पहुंच जाएगी. अब आपके पास समय भी है और आपके पास स्वास्थ्य बढ़ाने का भी मौका मिला है. अपने आप को अच्छी फिल्म देखिए, डिप्रेसिंग फिल्म मत देखिए, ज्यादा टेलीविजन पे न्यूज मत देखिए, क्योंकि लगातार डिप्रेसिंग ही न्यूज दे रहे हैं. तो डिप्रेशन विल डिमिनिश योर इम्यूनिटी potential. So you will, because you need to have immunity booster. So develop your dopamine driven kind of pursuits. Don't drink too much. Don't resort to drugs. Like we have seen in the film industry, people are very drug dependent for any failure which happens in their life. They go into emotional depression. So time for you to lift your emotions up, including the film industry, and which applies to all the people, that depression is, we always think negative. The negative magnifies. The positives always get diminished. So you have to see that the failure is also part of our life and celebrate the failure as well. So that is a way to keep yourself happy. And we all are, there is I remember that, सबका खुशी से फासला एक कदम है, हर घर में बस एक कमरा कम है, अंधेरा मिटता नहीं है, मिटाना पड़ता है, बुझे चिरागों को फिर से जलाना पड़ता है. तो बुझे चिरागों को फिर से जलाइए. तो मेरा यही संदेश है. थैंक यू.
बहुत बढ़िया मुकेश जी.
Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure to hear you.
Oh, same here. Thank you so much, Somnath ji.
I will again come back to Tarun sir. Tarun sir, as you are very closely working with the students, there is a lot of dilemma for the students who are passing out class 12 this year and who have done their graduation or post-graduation, who are looking for the job. What is your message to them? How they can cope up with this situation?
So, I think, let's just look back into, take a step back and say, how was the World War II won? The World War II was won by, superior might and money power, right? Strength of the UK and the American economies, which could build enough ammunitions to beat the Germans. The Cold War, which is, between Russia and America, was won by intelligence. The new war which we are facing, which is the crisis of Corona, I would say is a war which can be only won by agility and resilience, right? So I tell my students that, there is no point, you can cry, the world has changed, you can, get upset. But when a war situation happens, do you stop eating? You don't stop eating, right? You don't stop breathing. This is the same thing I tell them. In the world of education, I say, education is the food for your brain. And if you stop educating yourself, you're going to have an impact. So, that's what I tell them. So you can't stop learning. You've got to continue. Now, is this online world ideal? No, it's not. Right? Is it? Can it match the face-to-face experience? No, it cannot. But do you stop learning? No, you continue. I have a daughter, a 10-year-old, and a son, a 4-year-old. They're studying. Right? They're listening to this whole world. They're born into this world of virtual synchronous learning. And would I tell her, no, stop learning? No, I'm saying continue, whatever you can get. Maybe it's 70%, maybe it's 80%. So the process of learning should continue. There shouldn't be a change. In fact, your mind will, rather than consuming the OTT content, which is free, and a lot of students like to do binge watching, I'd rather get them to study and, improve their mindset, improve the way they think, improve the way they are agile in terms of thinking, understand history, understand geography, understand the world. I always say geopolitics eats economics for lunch or dinner, right? The whole geopolitics is now in such a world that our economy is going to be struggling. So the only way is to invest in yourself. And therefore, I've worked in Wall Street when the 2008 crisis, everybody was losing their jobs in a similar way. Thousands and thousands of people were getting fired. And it's smart to invest in yourself so that when the crisis comes out, which we are all positive, whether it's 8 months, whether it's a year, there will be a rebound, right? There is going to be a rebound. So you're ready with the new skill sets that you've acquired, with the new knowledge you've acquired to face or to ride the curve. That's what I would say to my students.
Thank you so much, sir. Now a request, Madam Rashmi. Rashmi, as yours is the largest offline matrimonial company of India, and you're doing so well during this adverse times, what is your advice to the young entrepreneurs to deal in these uncertain times?
See, I believe in business always you have an uncertain time. When you start a business, you think that it's going to work out or not. You have to struggle, or it's been every time is a struggle time for a business. But you have to cope up with that. You have to come out with your results and problems, and you have to find the solution out. That's how the business runs. You cannot just say every time is going to be a good time. Every time you have to struggle with something, like demonetization or something. When you're running a business, you deal with not many problems. Sometimes you have a children problem, you have counselors problem, you have something or other. In business, you have to deal with all of them. So I think we are dealing with this pandemic is like a big problem now for everybody now. So we have to cope up with that. We keep ourselves motivated. So that, our work should not suffer.
Yeah. Great. I will now come back to Somnath sir again. Somnath sir, I would like to have your advice for teachers. Teachers are, they have to change themselves to in a lot of things in technology and a lot of other problems they have. What is your message for the teachers of our country?
Yeah, in fact, that's a very good question. I do recall my days when computerization was getting introduced to India. Okay. That time, a lot of companies had the problems, a lot of CEOs had the problems. But what will happen in this new time? They will have to get adapted to computers and technologies, etc., etc. And that time, they were my batchmates had good time creating companies and getting those CEOs hooked to computers and making good money that time. So I remember. So in the new time also, this little addition to what Rashmi ji said, because in the situations like starting a business and then other dealing with those unexpected things for that person, but other persons know there are experts in the markets who know those situations, how to deal with that. So there are advisors available. But in this Corona time, everybody is new. Nobody knows how to deal with this. So it is a fresh for everybody. So there is no expert, there is no consultant available who can tell you, no, Tata has dealt with this, Birla had dealt with this, something like that. So today, pandemic has brought everybody to ground zero, and all of us are struggling together. So the world has become one unit. So the benefit is everybody in the world today is struggling together.
Yeah.
So there is no competition.
Correct, sir.
There is no competition to outdo the other. There is no competitor. So everybody is struggling that the world has come to one big platform. And let's fight Corona together. So humanity at large, whether it be India or be America or be Australia or any other country, all are fighting Corona together in a manner, because there is no adversary but Corona. So in the new time, teachers, they will have to adapt, because a lot of people today, I am going to have another webinar at 4 o'clock with doctors. Like my constituency, I've divided into 35 parts, I call Mohalla Sabhas. And today I'll have a webinar for Mohalla 25, where I have collected all the doctors of the colony. And we are, we have decentralized the support system. So B1, B2, B3, B4 blocks of Southern Enclave will have own doctors living in the colony, building a support system for the residents. So it's a new development.
Great.
So the government, of course, will be doing whatever they need to do, but why to depend on the government for everything? So I have built it up, a new system whereby the colony doctors staying in the colony will be available for the residents. Similarly, and there I saw that a lot of people said, sir, but मुझे तो वेबिनार में नहीं आता है, हम कैसे सबको सीखना पड़ेगा. अब वेबिनार ही हमारा एक तरीका है, वेबएक्स हमारा तरीका है कि हम आपस में ऐसे ही कम्युनिकेट कर पाएंगे. अभी कोर्स चल रहा है हमारा. कल मैं आर्गुमेंट बेल पे कर रहा था एक, तो ये मैंने देखा कि जज साहब कहीं बैठे हैं, दूसरा वकील कहीं बैठा है, मैं कहीं बैठा हूँ, पीपी कहीं बैठे हैं, और आर्गुमेंट चल रहा है, और बेल रिजेक्ट भी हो रहा है, बेल मिल भी रहा है. So it was something which was, I was desiring, like a practice in Supreme Court or High Court. So you have to attend a matter in the Kadkaduma. अब कड़कड़डुमा जाने में नानी मर जाती है कि भाई यहाँ से 1.5 घंटा 2 घंटा रहेगा. अब क्या है कि भाई आप अपने ऑफिस में बैठे सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे अटेंड कर रहे हो, कड़कड़डुमा पे अटेंड कर रहे हो, एक स्क्रीन बंद किया, एक स्क्रीन खोला, दूसरा स्क्रीन खोला. This is something to be learned. That's what I've told my seniors in the legal field, that you can have one as a base court. Let's say I'm a base practitioner of Supreme Court, so I'll have a base court wherein I can go physical arguments I can give to the court. But other courts, I have a matter in Kadkaduma, so I should be allowed that you can go to the WebEx and this video conferencing, and there you can give the arguments in Kadkaduma. Why to unnecessarily clutter the road? Why to force the person that no, you have to go to Kadkaduma in a car and clutter the road for 2 hours? You also be on the road. So this new thing, I think, will also bring a lot of good things. So every teacher now, to survive in this post-corona era, will have to get equipped with this technology.
Right.
Will have to also get equipped to study the emotions on the screen of the children, because teaching children is just not just teaching. You have to understand which student is catching, which student is not catching. I have two of my children in the house. They have to be hooked to this e-classes, e-teaching nowadays. So all of us are learning together that how to allow the child to sit before the screen. Now teachers are also evolving. Gradually they're catching now. Okay, he's not concentrating. Soman's not concentrating. So call him, call the parents. So things are becoming much easier. So this, in the new era, a lot of good things are going to happen. So I think because a lot of things will get hooked to video conferencing, etc. So family time will also be available. Family quality time will be available now to all of us. So rather than spending time on the roads, we should spend time in the house with the family, get hooked to the screen, and do the businesses, do the arguments, do the teachings. So there is a huge business also available now in this market, because you transcending the offline businesses to online businesses, teaching a lot of people how to, create business-like environment during using the web, using the video conferencing is going to be a opportunity also. Every opportunity, every crisis is an opportunity. So teaching will never be the same. Teachers will never be the same. So all of us, let's say there are gurus of many subject experts. They are not hooked to this web technology, video conferencing. So we have to enable systems, go to them, record their classes, and how to bring those classes to the world. I was earlier, before becoming a politician, I used to do this, that let's say there is one Mukesh Tyagi. Now Mukesh Tyagi cannot be taken to different parts of the country at the same time. So record his lectures, record his teachings, and let the world through this web, experience him. So question is, this is the time when all of us are forced to think that web is an option, or web is the only option. How to bring this change in our personalities, in our life, so that we do the businesses using the web, using video conferencing, and then do quality works, spirituality, meditation, philosophy, which can take our lives to higher pedestals. So how to evolve consciousness? Unless you evolve consciousness of the individuals, world will never be a good place to live. I mean, the kind of bad news become all the time. I mean, Mukesh ji was saying that news में सब कुछ negative आ रहा है, बिल्कुल आ रहा है. वो news वाले negative खूब दिखाते हैं. जैसे आज education TV आपने खोल रखा है. So ये अब अच्छी चीजों को भी हम propagate करना पड़ेगा.
Correct, sir.
I mean, we have to have, because media is a very, very powerful communication tool, and let the media become responsible also to propagate good things. That how to propagate honesty, how to propagate professionalism, how to propagate commitment. All of these good qualities also need to be propagated through media only. So I'm glad that you have something called Education TV. So let this Education TV take up that role.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And now we have Mr. Setia with us. He's a visionary. He started this online testing company far before Corona. Mr. Setia, as you are running one of the largest testing companies, schools, universities, and government examinations are having problems in large scale testing. What is your advice on the same?
Thank you, Mr. Pranav, for giving, first of all, the opportunity to be the part of this panel between the eminent and very wonderful personalities of their field. So to summarize the pandemic zone, I categorize into specifically 3 categories. First is your own health and your loved ones and people supporting you around. Second is your relationship. And third is your business and job or whatever professional career you have. So you have to prioritize on these 3 levels with the current scenario of the pandemic, which we all are going through. So I am basically from the assessment industry. And the problem with our industry is not being talked much about. Everybody talks about there's a lot of problem in travel, there's a lot of problem in all kind of businesses, MSMEs, everything. And they say no, EdTech and education is growing. But if you subcategorize the education industry also, in which assessment is very, very important, because everybody talk about, what you are learning. But how do we evaluate that? Whatever has been taught online, is that being grabbed to the level what we used to have with the physical process? No. So there is a huge, huge gap between EdTech growing and in that EdTech assessment part not growing. So Tyagi ji, we always, match our assessment industry with the, cinema industry. So how do we do that? Test center, where the mass candidate goes and give their exam. They can be engineering college, they can be business schools, they can be private centers. Similarly, we have cinema hall where, viewer goes and have the movie. So we match it like this. So the test center becomes the cinema, the movie becomes the exam, and the viewers becomes the candidate. So if you see, there is a very good correlation. So with that idea and concept, I lately developed online CRM and a portal by the name of Book My Test Center. And if you see, the ticket booking, Book My Show, became all of a sudden in thing when we never used to go and stand physically in the line. We used to buy a ticket. for a cinema. So this is where we have been working with most of the assessment companies in the country, which includes the brands like TCS, SIFI, Meritrack, Pearson VUE, and all those assessment companies, which are totally taking care of, entrance exam, government recruitments, mock test assessment, and all those industry. The challenge now it is, though Corona time has given an opportunity for the online business to flourish and edtech to flourish, but assessment also has got a positive impact, which was already known to the industry, but they were not very serious about things. So what we say is that online proctoring and live proctoring. I'm specifically talking about, I think Mr. Tarun can understand very well, when you do an online assessment, so by what proctoring means, whether physically, invigilators and proctors are standing and, watching the exam. In these pandemic, only two companies like NSCIT and TCS were able to do one of the test center based exams. So we have Mr. Somnath Bharti also on the panel. So I would like to suggest few of the problems, for our industry, so that, you had asked for the suggestion, what the industry is facing. So the problem is test center based exams are not going to happen now. The way cinema hall is not going to work. It is similar. So, Tyagi sir, I'm taking a permission, to correlate with your industry.
By all means.
So the way cinema halls are not working, the private test, the test center exams are not going to happen. You know that CBSE has postponed the exam, the JEE, NEET exam have been postponed because government is not confident enough to, create the conditions which have been there for COVID, so that people, students can, and the psychology of the parents. I'm talking about 12th standard parents. They say if we can lose a year, it's okay. But we will not send kids to the schools now. But this is okay for the people who are there from 1st standard to 10th or 11th standard. But what about the 12th standard and the final year students of every course? Every course means engineering, medical, everything. So the challenge becomes to those kind of people. So my suggestion and why my industry is having a problem is that government doesn't consider the assessment industry to a very serious level, because maybe it is 2,000, 3,000 crore industry. So unless until you have 5,000, 10,000 crore industry, then only, we are going to take this industry as a serious industry like entertainment, or maybe, travel, or, some manufacturing or something like that. So I request the government should take assessment industry very, very seriously, because this is where what we are talking, even if the new normal of learning, how do we assess them? How much we can, be sure that what % of learning they have grabbed, that is what it is possible through the assessment part. So this has to be really taken care of. The payments of this industry always drag. If the exam gets cancelled because of any one reason, it can be a leakage of the paper, it can be a malpractice, it can be a infrastructure failure or something, the entire exam gets stopped by PILs and, people, putting RTIs and all those things. The government has to segregate. If you see from my business perspective, these centers are surviving because of the opportunity given other than colleges to conduct large volume exam. For example, if you talk about SSS, 2.5 crores, railway recruitment, about 2.5, 3 lakh people, 3 crore people are going to apply. So we cannot be dependent on the colleges and their test labs. So there has to be a private center. So once this problem gets sorted out to the end level where the delivery has been taken, should be taken care by the government. People, we have seen exam which was conducted CGLE2 in February 2018. Still the decisions have not come out. All the infrastructure, all the services, business related to the payments, everything has gone. But at the end of the day, what I would suggest is we have an opportunity to make our internet super, super powerful thing. If we talk about tier 1 city, yes, we are good to some extent to tier 2 cities, but unless until we reach every district, every corner of the country, this online thing will not work.
Correct.
It has to work. It has to go to, so the internet power has to be utilized to the extent that 5G comes and every district and every small village of the country has that internet thing, so that whatever online which is becoming a new normal is being adopted by them.
Wonderful.
So unless until we have it, we will not be able to do the masses. Maybe on the topmost layer, you have success, but unless until it has a deep impact, it's not going to have. Second thing is, whatever solution the colleges are adopting, they are the solution which are being given by a commercial company. No, it has to be the need of the college, and it has to be a long-term commitment to these assessment companies. It is not that आप हमारा सिर्फ entrance करा दीजिए and this entrance will have these many questions and that's an out. But now with online being taught from March onward, it has to be a 2 years project. So the assessment company, rather than talk, one thing I should say, though TCS is my client, there are corporates who are trying to monopolize this market. I request, sir, monopoly is never good for the industry. It has to be a distribution of share. So rather than picking up a brand and giving the entire government business to one brand, it should be universally distributed. So these are few of the things which I would like to say and take an opportunity to tell, the member of Delhi government. And if they think that they are right, I think that should be reached to the.
I'm sure Somnath sir will take it further. And
Yeah.
I'll just take
Just to add what Mr. Setia is saying, there are new challenges for the government also. Remember, this internet industry, the kind of consolidation which has happened in the interest of America, all channels of communication today is in their hand. WhatsApp from America, Twitter, Facebook. So what is happening now? There would be a huge warfare, on in the level of the internet. That is all the knowledge reservoir, or keeping a track on individuals. Everybody can be tracked today. So this is a new challenge which the government has to adapt at the earliest possible. It's a huge challenge because the competition is no longer of ordinary nature. Today the competition is of the very, very high intensity, and the government sooner than later must come to this understanding that the entire 125 crore people, if they start communicating through internet, through Twitter, through Facebook, through WhatsApp, all of them can easily be tracked by anybody using the honors of WhatsApp or the government of that country. So what I'm saying that there are huge challenges, and all brilliant minds must come to this rescue, to the situation, and we have to work together to take our country ahead in this race.
Wonderful.
Correct. That's right. That's absolutely right. Data privacy is a big thing. The next oil we say is the data.
Setia sir, Somnath sir said a very, very good thing. Like people should know how to express their emotions. What is happening now in offices? An employee doesn't know what the boss is saying. He can't, even if he's smiling because he's wearing a mask, so he's unable to understand how to talk. Same goes with the webinars. So I would request Mr. Mukesh Tyagi, he's from the Bollywood, and they are famous for emotions. How the emotions can be expressed online.
You see, emotions can be expressed through eyes. Eyes are the most emotive part of the human body. And the good actors, if you see, they have very powerful control on their eyes' emotions. And you can literally read them on their eyes, the way they want to speak. And there was a time when there was a speechless movie. There was no dialogue. And so they carried out with their ability to emote, with their bodily expressions, with their hand movements, and with the eyes movements. Of course, mask is not going to be used for the film production because they'll have to remove mask. Otherwise, Mr. Somnath Bharti will not go and watch the movies. He wants to see good-looking heroines. So that's a critical part of the commercial success.
Same here, sir. With us also same.
So I think most of you, I'm sure including you, Pranay, would you like to go and watch a heroine with a mask on? So mask is absolutely no. But yes, actors have the capability to communicate through eyes. Charlie Chaplin, look at the way his body moved, his hands moved. You could literally communicate everything possible. Coming back on education, I just wanted to add, because it's a very interesting subject and it's a matter of the future of the country, because today India is the youngest population in the world, and that is our demographic dividend, and if we do not channelize it properly, I think India's future, we will be doing a great injustice. Now the education system, basically today, if you see, every fourth person in India is suffering from some mental aberration or disorder. Now we are so shy of the fact of sharing our internal psychological turmoil with anyone around us. We keep it to ourselves. So it erupts into like suicide, depression. So, you know, this is very important part of the education system, which is not easily possible till it is introduced into the educational curriculum. And Mr. Bharti is here. He's a very learned man and very sensitive to the societal needs. I have a lot of respect for him. So these are the areas now. There's a need to make a sweeping change. IT inputs, artificial intelligence, because you will see the way, including educational things will change. Today, people will, most of the jobs, traditional jobs will go. Doctors will actually not be needed because you can, through the artificial intelligence, through algorithm, you put so many inputs, and that has got the wisdom of hundreds of specialist doctors in the artificial intelligence to come out with the diagnosis in a much faster time. So you will see the traditional jobs will go. So the education system also needs to be now recast. As a matter of fact, it has to be relaunched completely. Forget about the revamping. You have to create a new education system. Otherwise, look at China. China, sir, in 1978, GDP was lower than India's GDP. They were on bicycle. Not many years back, maybe 50, 60 years, entire Chinese used to move on bicycle. Today, China, where China's GDP is there, where India's GDP is there, our scientists, our doctors, our engineers, our IT experts are flooding the entire world and providing the best of intelligence inputs. But what is happening to is, because our ecosystem is so bad, our internal is not productive enough for people to reach out their potentials. So we need to change the recruitment system also. We need to have a competent guys to manage the system, not the only qualification criteria. What is important, Mr. Bharti, is emotional quotient, your IQ, and your spiritual quotient. These are the three important pillars of a good personality. If you lack your emotional quotient, you may be a big disaster. You might be a Newton in your own field, but you may be a great disaster because you have no control on your emotions. You know, these are the areas where you need to develop a holistic personality of the student. If we focus too much, now Google is there to provide you each and every information. You don't need to know the capital of Hungary, or these are not important anymore. But we are very slow in responding to the change. So that's why I thought, like, for example, marriages. Now, I'm very happy that marriages have been discontinued. Only 50 people can go. Look at the kind of money Mr. Bharti used to spend on marriages. 5 crores, 10 crores. Is this the right way where the country is grappling with the economy? 80% of the people are living below the poverty line. They don't have 2 square meals to live. One party spends about 5-6 crores just in 2 or 3 nights just getting all this. It is all vanity. So much of vanity had happened. We had pursued so much of external journey in our lives that now it's a time for us to internally develop and shed off those areas, like especially like marriages, spending. A lot of extravaganza was happening. Delhi parties are known all over the world. Delhi bellies because of that. So there was a movie called Delhi Belly. And even Mr. Amitabh Bachchan is now down with the COVID-19. I think you must have heard this news. He's in the hospital. He has got everything possible around him. I'm sure he must be sticking. But the COVID is not going to spare rich or poor. What is going to spare is your internal sanity, your internal journey. So you have to shed off all this ego-driven existence now. Come to the minimalistic thing. 90% things we spend are not needed as a matter of fact. Do you need 5 cars for one person? Do you need a 10 bedroom apartment for 2 persons living in? Do you need big gardens where people don't have even proper hut where 10 people are staying? So there is a need for us to recast ourselves, recast our mindset. And also stress is actually invented. We should not be stressed even under this situation because our needs are minimum. If we reduce our needs, it's a need-driven stress. I have lost my job because you are used to having a very big lifestyle and you do not know how to compromise with your big lifestyle. So your entire resources will dry up. But you only need a very limited resource to survive. Invest in your mind, invest in your health, which is free of cost. You don't need to. So money has a limited application. Money has been abused and squandered for a very unproductive pursuit. And that's the reason we are lagging behind. That's what I wanted to share on this webinar.
Wonderful. I think excellent, Mr. Tyagi.
To add to Mukesh, in fact, Pranabji,
yes, sir.
The best and the worst of emotions, the best and the worst of times, you are speechless. So you don't need words.
Yes.
So when you
very good.
All of us have realized that. So possibly the what he has expressed, I really loved. It's coming from me especially. And now, this Corona times have been very, very fruitful for many of us in realizing all these realities.
Yes.
That what has come to your help, so crores of rupees, it is not coming to your help. You have to get a bed in the hospital. All of us, Somnath, Bharti being caught up at night, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Well, this for the persons. कि मुझे bed दिला दो बस. अब it was such a painful experience for me throughout the 3 months. I was in pain. I was in tremendous stress at times. Look, I mean, one bed in Max Hospital, in this hospital, that hospital. I was saying कि क्या कर रहा है परमात्मा, So all of us realized कि money काम नहीं आ रहा भाई. जो money आपने इतना कमाया है वो काम नहीं आ रहा. आपको आज एक bed तक नहीं मिल रहा है. तो possibly बड़े सारे lessons इससे सीखने को मिल रहे हैं हम लोगों को. और positive तरीके से negative नहीं होना है. इसमें stress में नहीं चले जाना है. But कुछ ना कुछ message परमात्मा देने का प्रयास कर रहा है. आप परमात्मा कह दें, प्रकृति कह दें, सुपर पावर कह, जो मर्जी कह दें, अल्लाह कह दें, खुदा कह दें, जो मर्जी कह दें, वाहिगुरु कह दें. मैं कह रहा हूँ कि एक सीखने का वक्त है और ग्रैपल करके, बिकॉज वर्ल्ड बहुत आगे जा चुका है. एक भी अब आपने कहा गूगल पे कर लो. अरे गूगल पे अमेरिका कहाँ है? अब ये क्या है कि देखो, ह्यूमन जो नेचर है वो तो बदलेगा नहीं भाई. ये जो आगे रहने की जो एक होड़ है सब में, वो तो बदलेगा नहीं. आप आध्यात्मिक देश है, स्पिरिचुअल देश है, दुनिया को आपने बहुत कुछ सिखाया है. मुझे लगता है कि इस वक्त गवर्नमेंट को और सारे जितने भी ब्रिलियंट माइंड्स देश के हैं, सबको मिलकर के इस पे हर पहलू पे काम करना पड़ेगा. कंपटीशन आज के तारीख में सिर्फ लोकलाइज नहीं है. आज अमेरिका में 1 सेकंड में पहुंच जाते हो तुम, तो आपका कंपटीशन इंटरनेशनलाइज्ड है और दुनिया आपको देख रही है. आपसे भी कोई समाधान आएगा तो हम सबको मिलकर के टेक्नोलॉजिकल, स्पिरिचुअल, सभी एस्पेक्ट को देख करके कुछ न कुछ निकालना पड़ेगा जिससे कि दुनिया को हम इससे उबार सके.
Excellent, sir. After hearing you, my perception for politicians have changed.
I'd like to just chime in.
Yeah, please.
Just very well said by both Mukesh ji and Somnath ji. I say, like we are saying, the world has become flat, right? Across no country has got an edge. But the leaders of many of the world's largest democracies or autocracies, whether it's the Chinese, the Russians, or the Turkish, or the Americans, or the Indian, I think the leaders need to have what I call the heat framework, which is a very, be humble. Humility is going to be very, very essential because we don't know the answers, right? Nobody knows the answers. Have empathy for the people. We saw some horrible tragedies over the last 3 months, which, burn every one of us Indians, that how could our fellow Indians be left to their own devices. Authenticity, know that you don't know. I mean, there is no point saying, I know like some leaders have said, I know this is the medicine. I mean, the doctors don't know, how can you know? And then it all of this leads to trust, right? And I think if that can happen, and Somnath ji is a leading example of bringing this together. So it's great to see politicians, engaging with us and saying the same thing. So today has been beautiful Sunday for me.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. Even Mukesh ji from Bollywood also, I think you also think the way we are thinking.
Absolutely.
The last question, important question. How many of us today on this frame have learned some new skill, maybe in the kitchen or somewhere, or garden, whatever it is? Like I have learned ironing.
I've learned driving a tractor.
Oh, good.
I mean, I'm learning music, and I'll sing one line for you. जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना. तो जियो जिंदगी से.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. I would like to thank our MLA, Mr. Somnath Bharti. First of all, thank you so much for taking out time, sir. And it was wonderful hearing you. I'd like to
thank Pranay, you will have to get Mr. Bharti more often because I loved his all the inputs he gave on this.
Yes.
I did not know he's such a deep personality. And everyone.
Yes, and this will be broadcasted to everyone, sir. All the student, parents, teachers. We have got more than 4 lakh viewers. It will broadcast to everyone. I would like to thank Madam Rashmi. it was her idea to bring everyone together. And Rashmi and Tarun have worked for the same company, Thomson Reuters. That is a common between them. And Rajesh, Setia ji in a very short time. And Tarun sir, thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mukesh ji. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pranay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rashmi ji.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.